Have you ever wondered how your favorite pack of instant ramen is made? You know, the one you reach for when you're craving something quick, delicious, and comforting? Well, today in another episode of Uncovering Products, we're going to take you on a journey into the fascinating world of ramen production. From simple ingredients to perfectly packaged noodles, there's a lot more that goes into making ramen than you might think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Products Uncovered for more fascinating content. Let's get started, shall we? Step 1. Ingredients preparation. The entire procedure begins with only a few basic materials. Let's begin with the most critical ingredient, wheat flour. This is what gives the noodles their structure and delicious chew. Factories employ high-quality wheat flour, which is essential for ensuring that the noodles are springy and firm when cooked. Then there's water, which of course is mixed with the flour to make the dough. Kansui is one of the distinctive ingredients in ramen. This is where ramen noodles vary from conventional pasta. It's an alkaline solution added to the dough that gives ramen noodles their unique firm, chewy texture and somewhat yellow color. Without kansui, you just have regular noodles. Step 2. Dough mixing and kneading. Once the ingredients are all together, they're mixed in huge industrial machines. This mixing is super important because it helps develop the gluten in the flour, which makes the dough stretchy and elastic. After the dough has been thoroughly mixed, it's allowed to rest for a while. Just like when you make bread dough at home, it needs a little time to settle and let the gluten develop. This step ensures that the noodles have the perfect texture when they're finally cooked. After the resting period, the dough is ready for the next step, where it really starts to take shape. Step 3. Dough flattening. Now for the fun part, flattening the dough. This is where the dough begins to turn into the familiar noodles we all know. Picture this. When the dough is rested, it is placed in these massive machines that roll it into thin sheets. However, they do not stop with just one pass. The machines press the dough repeatedly, each time making it somewhat thinner and more flawless. It's similar to rolling out pizza dough at home, but on a much larger scale. Factories repeat this process several times to ensure that the thickness is perfect. Noodles should not be overly thick. Otherwise, they will be heavy and difficult to eat. However, if they are too thin, they will overcook and become mush as soon as they come into contact with hot water. This step of the procedure is all about precision. The machines must balance that right thickness so that when you boil your ramen at home, the noodles have that optimum chewiness we all enjoy. Not too soft or too firm. It's like Goldilocks, but with noodles. They have to be just right. Step 4. Noodle cutting. The true magic begins when the dough is flattened. At this point, the dough resembles a blank canvas, waiting to be converted into the beloved ramen noodles. The dough is fed into these amazing machines, which neatly cut into thin strands of noodles. Now comes the fun part. Depending on the type of ramen, the noodles can be straight or wavy. The machines are quite precise. They do not simply cut the noodles, they slice them into absolutely even strands. Every noodle is the same breadth, as if they were tiny identical twins. This level of precision is crucial. Why? Because while cooking ramen, you want all of the noodles to cook and have the same texture. If some were thicker and some were thinner, you'd have some noodles that are still too firm, while others would get mushy. And no one wants that, right? Thanks to these precision cutting machines, each noodle is manufactured precisely, ensuring that when you toss it into boiling water, it cooks uniformly and has that perfect slurp-worthy consistency. It's a minor touch, yet it makes a significant difference in the finished product. Step 5. Steaming the noodles. Now that the noodles have been cut, they go through a steaming process. This step is really important because it partially cooks the noodles. Steaming helps lock in the texture of the noodles, making sure they stay firm and don't turn into a mushy mess when you boil them at home. The steam also gives the noodles a nice bounce, so that they have the perfect bite when you finally dig into your bowl of ramen. Step 6. Dehydration or frying. This is the point at which things become captivating. Depending on the type of ramen being produced, the noodles are either fried or air-dried after steaming. If you've ever noticed how crispy the noodles are when you take them out of the package, it's because they've been fried. Frying removes all moisture from the noodles, resulting in a much longer shelf life. When you add hot water, it cooks them really rapidly. That's why instant ramen is so quick to prepare. The fried noodles only need to be rehydrated before they're ready to be eaten. Not all ramen noodles are fried, however. Some are dried by air instead. This is a healthier option because it eliminates the need for oil. Hot air is used in factories to dehydrate noodles, giving them a lengthy shelf life while removing the additional fat. Both methods, frying and air drying, ensure that the noodles endure a long time without rotting and can be cooked in a matter of minutes when ready to eat. Step 7. Flavor packets preparation. Now, we can't talk about ramen without mentioning the little seasoning packets. You know, the ones that add all of that lovely flavor to your broth. Depending on the flavor of the ramen, the manufacturer prepares a mixture of spices, dehydrated veggies, and in some cases, soy sauce or meat extracts. It's incredible how much flavor they can fit into such a small package. Once the seasoning has been prepared, it is separated into individual packets, each matched to the type of ramen. Whether it's a deep miso broth, a light soy sauce flavor, or something spicy, these packets ensure that your bowl of ramen is flavorful. Step 8. Packaging. Now that the noodles and flavor packets have been prepared, it is time to put everything together. The noodles and spice are packaged together using completely automated machinery in factories. This is all done very efficiently. No human hands contact the product once the process begins, so it remains clean and hygienic. The noodles and seasoning are precisely measured and packaged into different packaging materials, which keeps your ramen fresh for months. Step 9. Quality control. The factory must monitor everything during the process. Quality control is essential for guaranteeing that each batch of ramen meets high standards. The noodles are examined to ensure that they are of proper thickness and texture. The seasoning is taste tested to ensure it is perfect, and the packaging is reviewed to ensure it is secure.